Essay number 69, What People Who Have Lost Love Know. The people who have lost love know something the rest of us don't. They know that someone else's love isn't yours to lose. Think about that for a second. We talk about losing love like we talk about losing car keys or losing our minds, like it was ours, like we owned it, like we had some deed or title that made another person's feelings our property. But someone else's love is only ever yours to experience. Anything beyond that, any sense of possession, any feeling of forever, that's just attachment to an idea, a hope, a big ol' supposed to be. And right there, right in that moment, when you start believing someone will carry part of you with them when they leave, that's where you lose yourself. When you start seeking salvation in the very person you need to be saved from. When you believe that someone other than yourself can save you. The people who have lost love know you can lose things you never really had. They know you can end relationships that never really started. Mourn futures that only existed in your head. Grieve people who were never really there at all, just projections of who you needed them to be. They know what it means to fill the empty spaces, in your bed with pillows, in your life with work, with dates that don't matter much, with the simple acknowledgement of sadness. They know the therapeutic quality of embracing it instead of running from it. They know what it's like to be absolutely certain in your bones, in your DNA, in every cell of your being, that there is no feasible way you could ever love somebody as much as you love that one person. They know what it's like to have your entire concept of logic and sense and justice and fairness turned completely upside down. They know that you don't always spend forever with the person you love the most. But you can spend forever trying to reconcile that fact in your mind. Here's what they learn, though. Moving on isn't a conscious choice. It's not something you wake up and decide to do. It's what happens when you stop trying to move on, when you stop forcing yourself to forget. You forget about them when you start thinking about you. They know what it's like to look back on things they thought would kill them and realize that even the hardest things somehow dissipate with time. Ease with understanding, release with awareness. They know there is incomparable strength in having seen yourself through the worst. This changes them. They become different lovers, more careful, more conscious. They consider their actions before they're reckless with other people's hearts, because they know what it's like to be on the receiving end of carelessness. They become the gentle lovers and cautious suitors whose hesitation might be confused for indifference. But it's not. It's reverence. It's understanding just how deep a human heart can love and how easily it can break. The people who have lost love know that tight, stinging, burning feeling in your chest and throat and legs. They know what depths panic can drive you to when you've exhausted every option and still can't make someone stay. They know that soulmates aren't what we think they are. Soulmates aren't happily ever after most of the time. They're the love that lights every part of you up and exposes every unhealed layer. Your true soulmate is the one who shows you to yourself, who holds up a mirror and forces you to look at who you really are. And that's the point. They know that you can love a person, but never as much as you can miss them. They know what it's like to have no choice but to live in the moment, because otherwise your awareness gets pulled into the past, sifting through what happened, worrying about what will happen, wondering where they are right now, and if they even cared at all. They learn to appreciate what they have while they have it. They know there may be no deeper pain than seeing someone you love be in love with someone else. Or more accurately, seeing someone you thought belonged to you suddenly belong to someone else. That simply, for all the great oceans of depth you felt running between you, it can be over in a single drop. They know what it's like to carefully daydream about running into them again, to pick out clothes with them in mind, to rehearse conversations alone in your bedroom, to cut your hair and run that extra mile as though a simple shift in appearance could make someone fall back in love. They know what it's like to actually run into them when they're with someone else, someone who is, in so many ways, not what you are, for better, for worse. And from that extraordinary pain, they learn something crucial. Someone's love for you isn't lessened or increased by how much they love someone else. Love isn't singular. It isn't expendable. It isn't a pie with finite slices. This might be the greatest lesson of all. They know what it's like to live with ghosts. The ghost of what would have been, should have been, maybe still could be. To walk down the street with the constant running narrative of what they'd be saying if they were there. To be at the bar when the conversation drifts from your awareness and suddenly all you can focus on is the faint thought of them sitting next to you. To be holding your basket in line at the grocery store when your song comes on, and suddenly you're imagining all the ways they once imagined you, and how they must think those same thoughts, send those same texts, act that same way just with someone else. They know what it's like for there to be strangers in the world who once knew everything about you. But here's what else they know. You somehow always call into your life exactly what you need. The most painful, the most changing, the experiences that will transform you in ways you can't imagine when you're in the middle of them. They know you never really lose love. What you experience, how you grow, what you take and learn and see and do because of it, that's the point. Not to have it forever, but to become what it was meant to make you. At first, you'll spend your time trying to figure out what to do with all the love that's left lingering. This love with nowhere to go. This love that feels like it's eating you alive from the inside. And eventually, finally, mercifully, you realize where it's supposed to go. You're supposed to give it to yourself. The people who have lost love know that every ending is also a beginning, that every loss creates space, that every goodbye teaches you how to say hello to yourself, to life, to the possibility that love isn't something you lose or keep. It's something you become. The people who have lost love know that survival is a form of courage, that continuing to breathe when someone has taken all the air from your lungs is an act of rebellion, that choosing to love again after being devastated is the bravest thing a human being can do. They know that hearts break to break open. They know that you can survive what you thought would kill you. They know that one day, impossibly, you'll wake up and realize you haven't thought about them yet, and that day will turn into days, and those days will turn into a life where they're a chapter, not the whole story. The people who have lost love know the secret. Love isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens through you. And once it's moved through you, once it's changed you, once it's taught you everything it came to teach, it doesn't leave. Transforms into wisdom, into compassion, into the ability to love deeper and truer than you ever could before you knew what it meant to lose. The people who have lost love know that losing love is how you learn that you yourself are love. And that can never be lost.